Hey guys, Mark. Just going to do a stretching class for you tonight. Basically, just the same routine that I would do on a daily basis, either before my workouts, sometimes in the early morning, or even in the evening just before I go to bed. So it doesn't really matter where you're at, whether you're in your living room, you're at the gym. It's just some stretches that you can do, and hopefully you can incorporate the same type of movements into your daily stretching routine. So we'll get started. And first ones I tend to do is I'll just lay on the ground. So I'll go down to my back to start, and I do a basic hip mobility work where I'm just trying to figure out where is it actually tight in the hips. So you yourself may not be this tight or may not have a issue with your low back, but if you do, all I'm doing right here is just moving my knee, which is directing the hip around. I'm trying to keep both sides of my pelvis flat against the ground. And I'm just seeing if there's any tightness in the glute, in that hip region at all. So it's feeling for myself, it's feeling pretty good. I'm gonna come out to the side. Now I'm gonna just bring that towards the armpit. That one feels pretty good. So I'm just gonna switch sides here. Same thing. All right, so just bring it across center line of the body. So both hips are still flat on the ground. Knees just coming across center line. Bring it up towards my chest a little bit. And it's just a little bit of movement. So I'm just moving it around a little bit just to see what's going on. And it's really just, like I said, just that gauge to see if anything's tight. And usually when you don't feel like there's any tight areas, it's like, this might not even feel like it's doing anything. It's like, geez, well, nothing's going on. I feel fine. But every time you're stretching, you should feel, or like what you're doing is actually you're searching for some adhesions or stiffness or tight areas or discomfort. Maybe you'll feel a little bit of pain or discomfort in your body somewhere, and then you're like, oh, I think I need to stretch. So when you're down on the ground, you're stretching out, that's what you want to do. So I feel a little bit of tightness kind of in the upper area of my quad, like towards my TFL. That I know I better hit with the roller a bit more. Okay, so just gonna do a couple rotations here with my torso and knees. Just a side to side motion, really. Sometimes you'll feel your back kind of, we'll do that little click, 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 click. So the vertebrae will adjust, or you get a clunk somewhere in that low back. So that's just an active rotation here, just a few each side, maybe 3 to 5. Okay, feeling pretty good. So I'm gonna take one leg. If you want, you can actually hang on right to the knee and just pull that in towards your armpit or towards the shoulder, towards the chest, however you like. Everybody's pelvis or hip is going to be shaped slightly differently. So depending on where you pull that, it's going to feel comfortable in one area and maybe not so much in the other. So if you pull it maybe towards your chest, it may not feel as great. If you pull it towards that outside of the shoulder, it might feel a little bit better. Okay, so to get a little bit greater stretch on there, I'm going to grab up to the bottom of the foot, pulling that towards the outside of the shoulder. Again, I'm just laying here, trying to relax and rest. Let the body slow down. So if it's after a workout, just trying to get a little bit of recovery. All right, that one feels pretty good. So now I'm just going to go straight up into a hamstring stretch. Just straightening that leg up, holding behind the knee. Should be just a gentle stretch. You're not looking to really go deep into this one. This is just a static hold here. We can do a P&F stretch, which is a little bit more active. But this one's just a static stretch, so just a little bit on that hamstring there. Okay, now I'm going to actually switch to the opposite side. So pulling that knee in towards the shoulder. And everybody's body, you know, it's going to take time for you to actually slow down or let your body relax. Everybody's body is going to relax at a different pace. Some people might be really flexible or hypermobile. Some people, a lot more stiffness in the joints and the muscles and the nervous system. So it might just take a little bit longer for some people. And when you're stretching, just allow yourself the time you need. You know, try not to be in too big of a rush. Focus on the signals your body's telling you, what you're feeling, what you're experiencing. All right, that leg is done. Just gonna extend that knee up. I'm just holding behind the knee again. Let my head rest to the floor. You know, and where do you feel this? Is it just the hamstring? Is it behind the knee? Is it into the glutes a little bit? As you can see there, I kind of came across center line of the body. So I just lean my foot from straight up right here. And if I just bring the foot across the center line of my body, I can feel it a little bit more in the hamstring or the high hamstring, a little bit more towards the glute versus if it's straight up. Like I said, you're kind of searching for those areas that need a little bit more attention. And once you do this enough, you know your body, you know where it might need the extra work and attention. Okay. So now a little bit of glute work. So we'll stick that same side. So one leg, ankle on the opposite knee. You can either grab the knee like I am doing here. You can hold behind the hamstring or behind the knee. Pull that in towards your chest. Sometimes this might be a good spot to start. And then you can always bring that knee or the foot down, hold on to the knee, and then pull that in towards your chest as well. Just relax your breathing. It's almost like with each breath or exhale, you want to pull in a little bit more as you feel the body release. So the glutes will slowly relax. This one's going to stretch your piriformis, a muscle that can get kind of tight from sitting all day long. Good, I'm just letting that one right back down. Going to switch sides. Notice how that one felt. So again, I'm going to hold behind the knee first as I bring that one in. Today I'm not feeling too tight, but sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to bring that in. So this feels really good today. I just grab behind the knee or in front of the knee this time, pulling that down a little bit further. Again, we're just going to camp out here a bit. Trying to relax as much as you can. An alternative of what you can do in this stretch that you can have somebody else hold your foot so that you don't even have to hold your knee. You can put your foot up against the wall. So almost as if it's right there, the wall's there, or a piece of furniture. Just pulling that in a little bit further, trying to feel that more in the glute. It's kind of that outer section of the glute, the hip area. All right, that felt good. All right, so now we're just going to go into a torso rotation. So you're laying there, stick with that same leg that was up, and we're just going to bring that across the body, trying to keep both shoulders down on the ground. You can do like a T formation here with the upper body, the arms out to the side if you'd like. So if I'm holding on to this leg, I'm just trying to pull it a little bit further. And if you find that your back is too tight in this position, where you're getting a lot of resistance, you could put your leg on a pillow, a cushion, even a foam roller right here, or a ball of some sort, and just to let the leg relax and rest on it. Sometimes that actually will allow your back to rotate a little bit further. So it really depends, though, again, where you're, where's the attention that you need? Are you really, really sore on the back and you're rotating is tough for you right now? Some people may be able to bring their knee right to the ground. Okay, we're coming back to center again. I'm gonna switch legs. Okay, bring that other leg across the body. You might feel tight in that mid back. Maybe it's all just in the hip or the side of the glute. So again, first I'm just gonna go through my typical stretch that I'll do on a nightly basis. Yeah, just holding this one, just feeling that rotation. And you get to the point where you can breathe relaxed with that rotation, that's good. If you're at the point where your breathing is short and shallow because the rotation is, it's causing quite a bit of discomfort, then I just suggest doing that stretch or this whole series more often, as much as you can. All right. So I'm feeling pretty good there. Back's feeling good. Yeah. Again, just checking to see where things are at. All right. So next I'm going to come up. I'm going to go into kind of a lunge stance first. So one leg forward, the back leg is stretched out, knees off the ground. I've got both my hands here on the ground, and I'm actually just letting the body sink down towards the ground. Okay. So when you're doing that, you can also let the knee, just let it go where it needs to go. If it needs to come out to the side, you can push it out. That's fine. Like I said, you're kind of in search mode. Where am I actually tight? Whether your knee stays off the ground or it kind of touches down, that's fine. It's up to you. And then once you've really figured out, like, okay, it's just my hamstring or my groin, feeling a bit in that back leg. All right, so we're going to switch that one. Going to the other side, same thing. So let that knee fall out to the side a little bit. So where are you feeling that? Where do you notice the tightness? It might be just in that front leg. Again, it might be in that back leg. Might feel that a little bit in the quad, the psoas, the hip flexors. Just depends on where you're tight, right? All right, so I'm going to switch back to the other side again. So bringing that one around. Okay, so one leg or one arm on the ground, the other leg we're going to go up into a rotation, and then right back down. So sinking down into this one, gonna rotate back up, to open up the chest, back down, and we'll do that one more time. So right back up there. Good. Okay, we're switching legs. Bring that other side back up. We're rotating up towards the ceiling and back down. Let's rotate on up and rotating back down towards the ground, sinking down. There we go. Last one here. Good. All right. So just come back on my knees. Okay, if you're really, really feeling that on the groin, just give it a short little break. I'm just gonna go right down onto my knees, head resting down on the floor. Just a breath or two. All right, so I'm gonna come back up. So I'll bump my hands and then bringing one foot forward into pigeon pose. So again, this goes back to the piriformis stretch, stretching that glute. So whether you're propped up on your hands like I am, or you're down on your elbows, it's totally up to you. Lots of times it's good to start up on your hands if you're a little bit more tight. And then you can slowly feel like that hip is lowering down to the ground. You can even inch that leg back a little further to go into that stretch more if you'd like. You can drop down onto your elbows right here. I know when you're really, really tight on the hips, this one can be a challenge. So we're just gonna switch sides again. Some people really have a tough time lowering the hip down. It's like, how do you get that hip down? Or how can I get my leg up further? But, you know, just a little bit of practice. And, you know, like if you're not that flexible, it may just be, you know, there may be some restrictions just in your skeleton or your joint structure. I have found that with different clients of mine. You know, don't beat yourself up about it if you just don't have the flexibility that you think is ideal in your mind. That's not necessarily but it's not necessarily going to be more beneficial for you. It really depends on what you're doing for activity. So work on your own flexibility. All right, perfect. So now, next one. Again, back to all four. We're going to bring one leg out to the side. So it's facing you. The one arm's here. I'm going to reach through, and then I'm going to rotate up. Just going to do a couple of those. There we go. Then we'll switch sides. So same thing. Other leg pointing back out to the side. I'm going to reach through, rotate up. Well, this one I can feel on my side, just above my pelvis. Right there, I can feel it down the whole side of my body. Good. All right. So next one, you're on all four, and we're going to reach that arm through as far as you can. Hips are sitting back a little bit. It's going to stretch the back of the shoulder, those lats a little bit, the rear delt. Yeah, a bit of a rotation there. And then we're going to switch to the opposite side. If your triceps are feeling this, then that's actually a good thing. You can get a little tricep work on there, just holding yourself.
Trying to rotate as far as you can, reach out, get the stretch in the lat, stretch in that rear deltoid.
Good, coming back up, sitting back on those knees, and back down, inching those arms forward, head or forehead just down on the floor. All right, so I'm gonna come back onto my back side. Okay, sitting down, and here's just another one, just to check to see where my hips are at. So I'm just rotating to the one side here. It's getting a little bit of a rotation on the knee and the hip. And then I'm going to switch sides. So one ankle is on top of the knee, and you can see I'm rotating across the body. Oh. You know, where are you feeling that? Is it right here in the front of the leg? Is it in the actual hip joint? Okay, so coming up and then sitting back, my legs are basically, knees are bent 90 degrees. Gonna go down to the ground, trying to bring both knees down. Should have a 90-degree bend, 90-degree bend. Let's try to walk the hands around to the front. Get a little rotation. Good. Now I'm just going to switch sides. So rotate or swing those legs back to the other way. Walk the arms around. Plus a little rotation. All right, so this one right here, this is a challenge for me. My knee doesn't want to always drop down. And then just swing it from one side to the other. Oh. Okay, perfect. Next one. All right. What else? So let's do a basic straddle stretch here for the inner thigh, which is that inner leg. Not something I'm going to do every time before bed, but if I'm going to do some exercise, I will stretch this out a little bit as I am just about to go for a run. So a little bit here from side to side, just spending 5, 10, 15 seconds. All right, so that is going to conclude the stretching sessions, okay? So I hope you have a great day. Hope you enjoyed that. And like I said, you can take part of this, all of it, mix it up into different routine segments that you'd like. Whatever you do, I suggest and hope that you do your own type of stretching routine on a daily basis. If not in the morning, at nighttime for sure. And I'll see you on the next one. Okay, thanks guys.